So we're going to be online.
Yeah. Hey, how about this?
Yes, now you're in the camp.
All right, you work.
All right, let's call the meeting to order. Start the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know, I was looking for the flag over there.
All right, let's call the meeting to order. Mayor Brad Bender present. Ward 1, John Post said he couldn't be here. Ward 2, Jeff Walker. Present. Ward 3, Amber Fields.
Present.
Clerk Treasurer Mary Jo Bender.
Present.
Brad Cage, I don't know if we'll see him tonight or not. And Fire Chief Steve Pentecost. Okay, minutes from the previous meeting were emailed this afternoon. If you would want to just, as you said, make a motion to table.
Make a motion to table approval of minutes from July.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yep. No one from the public present, so we'll go, well, no one from the constituents present. This is under unfinished business under bonding, revised capital plan, and Sean Fine Peter is attending here to discuss their services and their analysis. Earlier in the week, I sent a revised plan wherein I broke it out to separate what I thought ought to be done with the bonding money, which is the facilities, which is here, and also brought the cost down to $354,000. That would leverage 375 and bring us to where we would spend as much as 729 total. But again, kept that into the facility project and what we could do with parks between those two things. And then I split off what we had talked about over the last years and put it into infrastructure, separate projects, and I'm going to approach other funding for that. And we'll just concentrate on the bonding from here and the park. Because we have adopted 5-year plan and they have a budget that could use even more than what we have listed. But if we can get them some money started with, they can leverage it for more money. So, Sean, I will turn it over to you.
All right, Council, thanks for having me out this evening. Sean Klein here, with Klein Clear Financial Group. We're a municipal advising firm. As of yesterday, we have 2 municipal advisors on staff. We got to pass the SEC and MSRB exams. So we're proud to say we've got 2 municipal advisors on staff now. So we were contacted by the mayor, and the discussion was around, hey, what can the town do to issue what's called general obligation bonds? General obligation bond is a bond that is backed by property taxes. So we said, hey, let's run some numbers and see what we can do for you. So we ran some preliminary numbers. The mayor said, yeah, I think that may work. So I said, we really need to get bonding counsel involved, that's the lawyers, to make sure everything is per Indiana code. So Kim Blanchett from Martin Thornburg is bonding counsel. And by the way, she said, if we need her, she said she'll be at her phone. If anything comes up, we need her. And I told her, if I need to phone a friend, I'll phone a friend. But we had another review today of just some analysis that we issued, that we went through. Based on the capital plan that the town put together, we could issue about upwards to $400,000 worth of debt. Now, there is an issuance cost associated with that as well. So we've got that issuance cost that's around $60,000. So that gives you around $340,000 to deal with. Now, when you issue that debt, you got to pick how long will that debt be on the books. So this debt is a 20-year term. So it'll be paid for property taxes over the course of 20 years. We looked historically at some of your debt service levies. Everything looked good from that perspective.
We've never had a debt service
Right, never a levy, but we looked at your rates
fund.
and they look okay. Now, some of the analysis that we do is we pull your gross assessed value, and based on the new SDA 1, SDN Enrollment Act 1, which is kind of changing property taxes around, we looked at that and we said, would you consider this project financially a controlled project? And so when we run that analysis, this is not a controlled project. And so that's good. If it's a controlled project, then it triggers other things like remonstrance and other things. It's not, so we don't have to do those things. As a council, you have a statutory authority to issue a debt service levy up to 0.25 cent per $100 of assessed value. With a project like this, we would go up to 0.38. Now, because it's over 0.25, but it's under 0.4, that means Kim and the attorneys have to do some additional public notices and things of that nature. We don't have to have hearings and that and things like that, and that's actually why we cap it at 400,000. So we wanted to stay below that 0.4 number. But we were able to do that, and if we were to issue the whole 400,000 on an annual, what we did is we did what we call circuit breaker analysis. And your circuit breaker analysis says, if you own residential property, you're capped at 1% of assessed value. And so when you hit that 1%, you don't pay anything more than the circuit breaker trips in. So the town loses those revenues that they would have realized had the circuit breaker not been here. So a circuit breaker analysis tells us, hey, how much revenue could we have gotten if it wasn't in place? And we use that to project what would be the losses if we did a debt issuance like this. So we ran that analysis as well. We think that about around $5,500 a year would be a shortfall from paying your annual note from your property taxes. So if we reduce the issuance cost, the 400,000, if we reduce that off a little bit, then that would also reduce some of these numbers. But we want to give you, based on your capital, I'm going to give you an idea of what 400,000 reached, because that 400,000 was really set for us by that 0.40. So that's as close as we want to get that 40. That would trigger a bunch of other language. So with that, what that means is your property taxes would pay the note. There could be upwards to $5,000 to $5,500 a year shortfall that the town would have to make up.
And that's why I reduced the capital plan to about
Okay.
for that very reason.
So we would have like, would you be able to do like some kind of analysis on like, say, an average priced home here, what that would cost them in taxes? Cause that's usually,
The question, that's the
that's
question.
the big question, I mean, cause even though they can't remonstrate against this, we don't wanna upset anybody either. Cause most people in town want the improvements, but they also don't want their taxes to go up, so.
So
I mean, they're gonna go up.
Yeah.
But not,
from a residential standpoint, that's the 1%. So those individuals, I mean, if we had us sitting here and they said, hey, what's gonna happen to my taxes? What I would advise them is, whatever your taxes are today, they won't go past the 1%. So if you got, just do the math, if you got a $150,000 home, 1% will be $1,500.
right,
So if you're paying $1,000 a year, if that's your typical, then you'd say, okay, my bill is $500. But once you hit the circuit breaker, it won't go over that.
go over that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's a way that no matter who's sitting here and what home they live in, they can do the math pretty easy to say, okay, my 1%, okay. If I'm at a $300,000 house, 1% is going to be $3,000, so I'm paying $2,500, so it's gonna give them $1,200. They can do the math pretty straightforward like that. On residential properties. of course.
Yeah, we just wanna be able to talk to people about it and explain it to them, so.
And I could, if you want, I could write that up and just say, hey, here's some talking points
Yes,
on that.
yeah. That's what we
So I'll come back, I'll send back some 1% talking points for residents in the month.
So as far as like the number of years, is that the maximum we can go out is 20 years?
Yeah, that's the most we would recommend on this. When you get into, I would say, long-term infrastructure like sewer piping and things like that, we would normally go to a funding agency like USDA Rural Development, and they would go out like 40 years. And so like 40-year debt is like the max that you can think of. Typically, if you go to entities like the State Revolving Fund, they like to stay at that 20 mark. And we think 20, we even like to do these job obligation bonds with a shorter maturity, but if we shorten maturity, then that.
And the payment goes up.
Exactly. So this is the balance that we found here. Now, as we move forward, we make assumptions about of growth, property value growth of your assessed value. If property values grow more than our assumptions, then you're going to benefit from that too.
Yeah.
And if you look post-COVID, anybody owns a home knows what property values have done.
Right.
So are they going to continue to do that? I don't know, but.
Well, I have another question. So say we do all of this, I don't know what the interest rates are running right now, but,
I'll tell you what we were financing through what's called the Indiana Bond Bank. And at the Indiana Bond Bank, they have a really good yield curve on it. And so your first 5 years is like 3.5%. Your latter, like 15 to 20 years, is like 4.5, 4.7. So that yield curve
goes up a little bit.
goes-
I just wondered if the rate was really high, if we could finance the loan later on.
So that's a really good question. So it comes down to what we call a call provision. So I can talk to the bond bank and quantify this.
I mean, that sounds like a really good rate.
Typically on 20-year debt, there's a 10-year call provision, which means once you enact it for 10 years, it's got to kind of stay in play. And to be honest with you, the first 10 years you're at a lower
It's the lower rate, yeah.
And so what happens is on the backside of that, where your yield curve goes back up, you may want to revisit it and say, hey, could we
Get a better
refund
rate,
it
yeah.
and get a better rate? And that's actually, last night I was in a community talking to them exactly about that. They have an RD loan that they implemented, and just to give you an example, they have an RD loan in 2006. So 20 years to 2026, 20 more years is 2046. Well, they're right at the 20-year mark. And when they started, they did flat at 4.5%. And I said, oh, okay. So before I went out, I just ran some analysis. I said, again, if I use the bond bank's yield curve, the current debt would be like 3.5, and they're paying 4.5. Now, we tip up over time, but there was a good $40,000 savings on interest. Now, I didn't recommend that they refund that bond because there are some issuance costs and things of that nature. So I said, if they do a project in the future, I said, we would wrap this debt in it. And that way you would only pay for one cost of issuance, not a refunding and a project cost. So you would couple those together on one cost. So yeah, so that's what we recommend. But to your point, there's a call provision. So we'll, once we get to the point of signing things, we'll talk about what those call provisions and restrictions and covenants are. But yeah, I I mean, ultimately, we're here because we want to fund your capital projects. And so I think this is a solution to get you where you need to go. So Mayor, I appreciate you calling us and helping you figure out how to make this happen. Because we did a little walk through the community center here. It's pretty nice.
Well, this all started because we have $75,000 from the foundation. We need basically 75 more
Yeah,
in order to.
we've been talking about doing a bond issue though.
Yeah, we can talk, but that's what
For
started
years.
this.
Yeah.
And then Kim, I explained to them that this would probably be set up as a holding company.
Yeah.
And, under a lease, I guess lease.
A lease agreement, yeah.
Lease agreement, and Amber I know is familiar with it.
Okay, so yeah, instead of going into the hit level details, because from your perspective, it's really not as material, but from a legalese perspective, they've got to put these things in place so that they follow in the, but yeah, this would be a lease arrangement, but from your perspective, it'd be just as a straight procedure, a straight line. Now, in our review earlier today, one of the things the team talked about is, what do we want to get accomplished tonight? And really, the only thing I'd ask the council is, if this sounds like something that you guys want to pursue, if you guys would just make a motion to say, yes, we want to continue this, please, Sean, please continue to move forward.
I'll make a motion. I wanted to do this for a long time.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, appreciate it.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. The only other thing to schedule,
Okay.
when I talked to you guys last, I think Kim said drop dead was December 15th,
Yes,
but
and
she was pushing for November.
so, so when we reviewed the timing issuance here, the latest we would issue would be, the latest we would close would be November 5th. If we close November 5th, that would give your clerk treasurer time to get that debt service levy in. Since the council said, yeah, let's move forward, I'm actually gonna contact the Indiana Bond Bank and ask them, that they have a community funding resource program, a CFR program. I'm gonna talk to Jacob Blaze out of the bond bank, him and his team are actually super work, but I'm asking if we can move that out sooner, because there's really nothing holding us up. I just want to make sure that was the latest acceptable date. If you would like to move forward, I'll call them up and see how fast we can. Okay.
So we have to get our budget stuff in. I guess we'll have the hearing next month and then adopt it in October for 2027. So we don't even have a debt service fund. So would we just do a resolution to
Yes.
set one up?
Yes, I know exactly what you're going. And we're doing some work for Blackford County, and that's the same thing we've done here, is I work with the county auditor and say, and she actually, I didn't say to her, she told me I needed that debt service levy by July 17th.
Yeah.
So I said.
We would need to
Yes.
see the amortization schedule so we can put that in there. I think if it's just, they'll accept it even if it's tentative.
Yes, but we need to give them all the closing
Yeah.
documents and everything,
Okay.
before, but yeah, I will, so that's another thing too, is I'll find how fast we can do it, and then in here will be the debt service levy, I'll make sure that's explicitly called out for you to add.
Okay. Would the first payment be next year then?
The first payment, so I know we've got capitalized interest, let me look at it. So we've got capitalized interest on 1/15/2027, so first payment would be 7/15/2027 would be the first payment.
Yeah, because they want 18 months. I know because when I did this somewhere else, they want 18 months worth of payments in your funds. So we'll have to figure out that out.
Yes, there are some nuances to that, yes.
Yeah.
And you were at the school, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so,
Okay, I think it
All
sounds
right.
great.
Okay, do we want to go for the 400,000 or go? Do we want to go for the 400,000 and go slightly less? I've got the capital planned about 354. I
I
think
think
we
we
ought
go
to
for the
go-
whole thing.
The 400, and if we don't use it, we pay against it.
Yeah, I mean,
because that extra 5,000 a year worries me a little bit,
Yeah,
depending on what happens with our other income stream as far as this, Senate enacted.
yeah.
Senate enacted that. So that's why, but let's get it all,
Yeah, I said go.
we're spread out on here until 2029, 2030, so it's not like we're gonna be running it out that fast.
Yeah, we can make a decision.
Yeah, we can sit on it or separate.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other questions for me? And let me just say, this should be the first conversation, not the last. You got my contact information, Mayor's got my contact information. If you come up with any other questions, please email me. And we're here to answer questions. If we need to get Kim involved, Kim's a real resource as well to help answer questions, so.
The only thing is we only meet once a month on a regular basis.
Okay.
Second
Thursday.
second Thursday of every month. So if we get to have special meetings, we'll just need to know so we can.
Yeah, we can have another meeting.
Yeah, we can do that, but
So what'll happen next is I'll go back and the team will have another meeting. What happens next is bond council puts together a timeline. So I'll flush a timeline out with the bond bank. She'll take that, she'll put that together, and she'll take your schedules, second Thursday month, and she'll lay it out and say, we had to do this here. And she'll say, Sean, give them a debt service levy to put in their budget this date, so we'll see those things start to flush out. But the next thing you'll see is some real good marching orders from bond council.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
tell us if you need anything from us. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you.
Thank you, Sean.
Well, thank you very much.
yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hopefully it quit raining out.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't
Good
get
luck.
drowned out going home.
One thing I think we should do, as it moves forward a little bit, is maybe have a hearing. So, or not a hearing, but just a special meeting, so if anybody wants to come and ask us questions.
I agree.
Because even though they can't stop our project, we don't want to have anybody out there, that's really upset about it.
No, I agree. We want this to be open and transparent.
And I worked with the bond bank for 25 years. They're really, really good to work with.
Good. See, that's the first time you said that.
Yeah. Well, they sell the bonds like, I think in, groups, like
Yes.
with other,
They're bundled them together.
bundle them together, yeah.
Okay. Back to unfinished business, SS4A. It's moving along. We had a meeting Tuesday night. The room wasn't full, but it was a good crowd, really good crowd. And that is I call it the committee, she calls it task force.
Yeah.
But it's all, but they are going to be here starting at noon on Monday, the 17th. And be here,
Monday at noon?
I'm sorry, Monday the 16th at noon.
No, that's 17th. I was just saying, that's next week. For anyone that.
Is it the 17th or 16th?
The 17th.
Okay.
17th is Monday.
Okay, then it's wrong.
Okay.
So it'll be 17, 18, 19. All right.
So we have to be here?
Somewhere in there.
Or they're gonna be
No,
here.
no, I mean, the consultants will be here. I'll take them on a walking tour on the afternoon. They'll also maybe meet the cross-country team and some other things going on. Then Tuesday, they have a set schedule of morning meetings with stakeholders. Most of those are gonna be, like, NDOT has been invited. I passed out flyers to.
I got one of those.
Well, these flyers went out with an extra little,
Those are in color.
announcement on there. And I took those to the restaurants, the liquor store, all businesses. So that they can also be involved in the morning, and then the general public is in the evening. But in between that time, they're gonna have this room and they can do sketches and plans and tell us what they're coming up with. And then close out on the morning of the 19th. So,
When do we need to be here?
I would like you guys, well, Jeff's gonna be involved.
I've taken two. I'm sorry. be present. But
I
it
have,
doesn't have to be that intense.
okay, I just kind of have a problem. My niece is coming that day.
Okay.
Because it's my dad's 91st birthday.
Ah,
So I don't know how much time I'm gonna have. I mean, I can probably give away some of it.
it's up to you. We'll just leave it up to you.
You're saying what day for
The
council?
public meeting notice that you
Yeah.
got for the
Tuesday.
from 5:30 to
I
7,
can,
that's the open house we can kind of use go.
okay, I can definitely come to that.
Yeah, the steering committee will meet from 4 to 5:30 before that. Yes, but that's just those folks who've been invited to kind of lead that from the community side. And
So-
stakeholder meetings in the morning are just like Brad said. So that doesn't.
So if I could come to that 5:30, 6:30, that's good.
That'd be the best. That would probably be best. We need to make sure John.
Yeah, we can let John know.
And if you want to be there, well, that'd be. Again, you can
I
say
mean,
anytime you want, but
Cause you're on that.
5:30 would be the best time.
Any other day, I would be fine.
It's also, you know, if you do.
Well, my niece is, coming from out of town, so.
Mhm.
Just kinda-
So anyway, that's the plan.
We'll kind of do a debrief Wednesday morning. If we have anything you want to hear then.
Okay,
I don't remember the exact time, so.
It's part of this process, if you will. That's why we strike over crosswalks.
They
That's
look
part of
Which
really
are
good.
great, and Kit really likes walking on the white lines. and
Good.
across the street.
it.
she's funny.
There's only, it's your intersection,
Yeah.
Brown Pike, and then down at the courthouse, are the only places we.
Yeah.
It's the only places we have sidewalks connecting in all four directions.
Well, it looks good.
Yeah, but that was part of why we did.
It's great.
We do have a resolution that you adopted at the last meeting, subject to editing and signatures, and it is in the packet that we signed tonight. Taken care of. DNR, we finally got all of our final money.
Awesome.
Everybody's been paid, and there's still a little bit left in the account that can be used for maintenance.
I have a question, is that bridge going to survive this flooding?
Oh, yeah, I went by there tonight, it's fine.
The down on the hiking path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't walk out there.
Sure.
You can
It's
see it.
underwater.
No.
Is it down now?
Oh, yes, wait,
Okay.
you can see it. It looks
Okay,
like.
so it's closed out, so they will
Which-
have to put it on the agenda.
Well, there's still things we need to do. I need to get with Brad Cage as much as anybody. Remember, we were talking about transferring easements to the county for their section, and we keep ours and stuff. For the time being,
If there's money left, that's just for it.
we'll keep it in that line item for the trail. I mean, that's really what it should.
So if you look at it.
I mean, I have the fund report, how much I have to tell you. Well, will it show up yet?
It shows for me at the end of July, it was $1,975.22.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's what's left.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Okay, new business, budget hearing next month.
Let's just notice that, Mary Jo and I will bring the budget, for everyone to look at. So we need to have a hearing before the meeting, so I just put 6:15. So we'll need to start at 6:15, and, it'll be very similar to what we did last year. I can't see us getting, it all runs by, how much our levy is, and it can only go up by maximum 3%, so.
So I didn't get a chance to call, I got to
It's okay.
6:30,
That's okay,
and
Brad.
then, well, been at Ford for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been rough.
Apologize.
You're okay.
What time's it, 6:15?
6:15 is the hearing, so, yeah, we need to do
You
a
want
budget
it just in
hearing.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right on
First
time.
thing they called you.
Yeah.
You gonna do a public hearing?
Yeah, budget, for the budget.
Okay,
Budget.
You said it to me, okay.
okay,
Are you'll post it, you'll send me the.
yeah.
emails.
the
But then you
newspaper.
put it in the paper, right?
Yeah, how many times, you just post it once,
We'll just have, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just
just once, yeah.
48 hours before or something.
It is, okay, so next
Yeah.
month, 6:15, all right?
And the only thing different in that will probably be the debt service stuff.
Mhm.
So one thing we'll have to do, I'm guessing, is create a debt service fund, and then you'll see on the budget, it'll be like, well, I don't have an example, but like our general fund and the park account, or the Parks and Rec has a little bit of a levy, so this will have a levy also. It shouldn't be too much, because depending on how much the payments are.
Yeah, prior to your getting here, Sean Kleinpeter, our financial consultant, was here, and they made a motion to proceed with the process. Ken Blanchett from Stormbird,
Okay,
bond counsel, and they'll be getting us more information, but just so you're in the loop,
sure.
you know what's coming.
Okay, okay, good deal.
Also under new business, request to close Pike Street for the Ghost Walk. That's from the museum, like we've always done, but Pike Street from Ripley to Brown, for 2 nights.
Do you remember the weekends here?
It's Pike Street up at Brown Street. 'Cause I
Probably
thought
the
it's always
second,
Brown Street.
I think it's the second weekend of October. 10th, 11th, does that sound, or 9th and 10th?
No,
They close Brown Street.
no, they closed Pike Street. And it is,
It's always closed there because you've got, like, the fire pit and stuff out on Brown Street.
no, we do it on Pike Street. Pike from Ripley to Brown.
Okay.
That way the cars can still go through and they have parking, otherwise they don't have a place to park. You're thinking of Sasbury. But we still have it open for Sasbury.
So which weekend was it?
So
Sorry.
October 16th and 17th.
Oh, it's later. I've always driven down Pike Street.
I make a motion to approve the closure of Pike Street from Ripley to Brown for the Ghost Walk on October 16th and 17th.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. And, okay, next miscellaneous business, library kitchen. We've been working with them. Obviously, I think you saw we cleaned it out quite a bit. They've done their cleaning. They had an exterminator in there. They have a class in there tonight.
Yeah.
So things are coming along real well. I have new faucets to get installed next week, and then also new hardware for the door. But we applied for a grant with the foundation for $5,000 for new drop ceilings and lighting. And we're really hoping we've got a real good chance to get that and do a few other little things in there. And then we won't have it like we had in those sketches that where we applied for 3 times that.
Sure.
But it's, like I said, it's being used tonight.
Yeah.
So even if we don't get the grant, this is great, because that's what we wanted. I mean, that's what we've been shooting for on this. So I think it's gonna work out real well.
Absolutely.
Reports from committee and officers. Been also busy the last 2 months, but we did a lot of things around town. Poured concrete, fixed patches all over on Pike Street. Did the striping all over, for parking places and the sheriffs and everything else. And a lot of tree clearing, a lot of mowing. Today, got a tree cleaned up over at the Commons where it was across the road. Somebody else had opened it up, but I got all the debris out. And then I closed access down to the Commons until it could dry back out. Some very large logs in there that came in from last night, up high. And then you told me the trash can disappeared and it's back,
Yeah, it disappeared, and then this morning
because
it
it
was
was
back.
underwater.
I just figured it was down the river,
Oh, I did too.
because it was,
So how did it not float?
well, I think it could have gotten in that property right beside there where everybody parks, it could have just gotten hung up in
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's back.
Well,
Whether a ghost put it back or,
but well, you had asked me today about the concrete blocks down there. They have sand all the way up to and over
Oh,
at
wow.
this point because there's so much washout out through there. It's,
looked on this side last night.
Well.
Last night was really, really
It was
something.
hot.
It's down. You could see the turnaround now.
Yeah.
It was up, probably, what, a few feet from the lift station?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna.
Not close. I mean, I wasn't worried about it going to the lift station,
No,
but
but it.
it was the sign, the little turnaround, everything.
Oh,
The
yeah.
pollinator field, all underwater. Yeah.
But anyway, that was
Everybody
really
was
cold.
driving down.
There was not any damage from these storms like other places have had,
Yes.
other than one tree.
And that was a maple tree, and the walnut trees are dropping branches like crazy.
Well, we spent so much time, I don't know how many times.
That walnut tree that's in the art park, the one that's, there's a huge sycamore tree, which it drops stuff all the time. But the walnut tree, I feel like we need to get that cut back some more. Cause it is hanging over that little, apartment.
Well, Mary Jo said that lady had asked it, and so I said. we'll
Yeah,
bring it up
and they
see
have a
if we
metal
can-
roof on there, and then, I know the walnuts when they drop on our house, it's loud, and I can't imagine a metal roof.
It's up to you guys, but if you wanna,
I wanna have it trimmed some more. I mean, I would even say take it down at this point, but trimming's fine too.
So that's what I told her. I said, hopefully maybe like have Pike give us a recommendation
Yeah.
at least. Because
I mean, I hate to
They're
take a tree
concerned
down
about
in that
it,
park, but it's
about
really a
other
nuisance.
branches coming.
okay, I will call them, because I talked to them about this one. They could not get to it, and it's gonna be expensive simply because they're missing taking care of trees on houses.
Sure,
Absolutely. I will get with them on this.
Okay.
The other thing is, Brucey and Mikey Brown said next week we will have it back. I will help them get set. We've still have a lot of saccharin that I've purchased. We've got a couple of those. But I did tell him I feel like we should compensate for something. He has really reworked.
Okay.
I'll leave it up to you guys how we could contact insurance, but I didn't turn it in back in December. So I'll leave it up to you guys how you want to do that.
Well, I mean, if you have
It's not his fault.
No,
You
it
know,
wasn't his
he's really taken care of. He's been help reset it. So.
Yeah.
or just let it cost him to fix it. I mean,
You want me to try to? Do you think I can go back to insurance on something from December? Oh, what's our deductible?
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I told them I didn't say an amount. But when we get it, let's be fair.
Absolutely.
And I think it's on to John's post. John's not here. Jeff?
I actually don't have any updates this month. I guess I do have one update was for the discussion with NDOT about a connection between Vernon and the county park and North Vernon. We got confirmation from someone on staff at the NDOT Seymour office that they do in fact have funds planned internally to cover the cost of the scoping study for that connection. So we do not need to worry about any sort of local funding to cover that study. Of course, if there's an opportunity to move forward with this type of project, we'd still need to pay for survey and design work and all those other things later on. But the initial fear that we had that we may not actually be able to do the scoping study without local funding was unfounded. We have someone on the inside at NDOT helping us out.
Well,
That sounds a lot more nefarious than it actually is, but they just they have a budget for stuff like this.
and we need to make sure that it's brought into our safe streets.
Yes, yeah, I need to let them know that that's gonna be happening.
Yes.
It's one of the things I'm excited about having NDOT come to one stakeholder session next week, because that can be part of their conversation with our tool design folks and just, yeah.
Great.
That's the only update I have this month. Brad, if there's anything I need to do in the next week or things you think of Tuesday where I can help out folks from town, from Tool, just let me know. cause I'll have that time.
Mary Jo picked up some things to have around for drinks, and like snacks and things.
Okay.
So I think that was
I
probably.
mean, it's not, you're not talking like sandwiches and all that stuff, are you? I mean,
Oh, no, I just mean however I might be able to be an extra set of hands or contribute a little time.
like peanut butter crackers, water, some
That's great.
hydration
I figured that
drinks,
was.
Yeah.
some mint, those soft mints, just a few things to just sort of set around.
Cause they're paying for their own lodging, their own meals.
Yeah, that's all.
We don't know if they're even staying locally yet.
I mean, if you want me to have Murray Farm, some cookies.
No.
Can ask the steering committee and that's super kitchen. So,
Amber,
I don't think I have it.
there you go.
All I had was just about that, like, the tree that we just talked about, that Ashley Morris had contacted me. And said that we would bring it up at council to see if we wanted to look at it.
You could bring up that the office phones are working.
Oh, that's not.
What? Brad, anything? Steve Bennicup is not here. Ron had sent a message. He said he'd be late, but then he said everything's fine. I know the water tower people have not returned.
Okay.
And I don't know on the lift station. One day, the one on Ripley Street, that one of the new ones was in alarm, and we got it turned off, but it never showed to us why it was in alarm. But then he said that it was a pump fault. So, I don't know. Other than that, then, I do believe claims are next.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
No, second that motion.
Motion a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 7:13.
It's a new record.
I think it is a new record.
Like you might be here.
When you walked in, I was tempted to say motion, meeting adjourned.
Well, looks like a first I made it.
Jeff, you motion to adjourn or anything?
I motion
Yeah.
to adjourn.